Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It has been so long since I recorded a book review. It's been at least like 2 years since I did it on camera, but I am going to get back into recording book reviews. I still have been reading all of this time. So I just want to say hello everyone and welcome back. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button below so that you can stay up to date on all of the books that I will be reading. As you guys know, I do read urban fiction, I read psychological thrillers, I read short stories as well. Trying to expand and get into different things, but I really haven't dibbled and dabbled outwards too much. But we shall see what will be happening in the next part of the year. I guess you can call it that. We are technically in our last quarter of the year, they call it. But I am going to go ahead and jump right into it. When I say I have read at least 20 books this year already, we are in tomorrow will be the last week of September. I have been reading something crazy. I have fallen in love with books by Naira. I may be saying her name wrong. Girl, please forgive me. But I have, oh my God, I stumbled across one of her books somehow earlier this year on Facebook. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and download it because a lot of her books are on Kindle Unlimited. So if you don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, that is a program. It's basically a subscription that you pay for with Amazon, and it allows you to be able to have, I want to say, up to 10 books at a time in your catalog in your library. You don't have to have a Kindle to be able to read it. You can read them on your phone, your iPad. You can even read them on your computer while you're at work. So it really just allows you to be able to support new authors. And then it also helps the authors to be able to get new readers that maybe they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So it's a great program. I do love it. All of my books are on there as well. But back to her, I have fallen in love with her books. I want to say she has at least 5, 6 books online. I know she just dropped 2 books last week. When I say I have already powered through those books and they were so freaking good. I'm going to do a whole review specifically on those books. Just because I love them so much. Like when it was over and done with, I was like, all right, so is she dropping more? Like she literally gave us 2 books in a matter of about a month and a half, and I still was wanting more from her. So there that goes. But I have been reading a lot, so I've been reading her books. Let me look down at my notes because the memory is not always there. So I've been reading a book by, well, I already read it. It's a book called The Predatory Pastor by S. Casadera, and I may be saying that wrong as well. Forgive me, y'all. I'm not the best with. I'm working. Okay, I'm working. I absolutely love that book as well. That was a 5-star review book. I will be doing a review on that one as well. Let me go ahead and get my notes so I can just go ahead and be looking up and down to sit here and remember all the books that I read. I did finally finish reading that book, Her by Pierre Alex Genty. His books are, I want to say it's like poetry. I just feel like it's his work, his collection of books at this point, I feel like are really uplifting for women. I feel like it just gives women that that little push we be needing after something goes wrong, or maybe even just a refresher. Like I won't even say it's necessarily just for breakups, or if you're super depressed. I feel like it's just his books and his work is something that you can read with a glass of wine, and you want to unwind, and you want to remind yourself you're still that girl, you're still her. So I did finally read that. um Let's see. I read Daddy's Home by Daisy Savage. Now, if I said I remember all the way through what the storyline was, I would be lying if I said I remembered it off the top of my head. I do remember I definitely devoured that book as well, though. I gave that book a 5-star review on Amazon as well. The Four Financial Languages by Tara Jackson. If you are trying to, oh my God, if you are trying to build up your financial literacy as a couple or as a team in a relationship, I highly, highly, highly recommend that book. I actually stumbled upon it. I think I was thrifting for books one day and I found it. I am so glad that I did. It was probably the best couple dollars that I spent because it teaches you how to discuss money in relationships. Like if you feel like you're the spender of the relationship and your partner's the saver, it gives you ways to be able to talk and to be able to maneuver through those conversations without it becoming like a huge argument or blowout. So that's why I definitely love that book. I read that one back in June. My Out of Town Bae by Tasha Levet. That book was crazy good. That book was so good. Oh my God, I absolutely loved it. I read part one and part two in a matter of a month. That book had me convinced, like at the time, like, you know what? Like maybe that's what more people need to be doing is going out of town and like going on little random dates and stuff. And you never know. Like maybe like, you can't find like the guy for you in your city, but like maybe he's like off in whatever other city. Well, obviously, because there's 8 billion people in this world. Like there's somebody for everybody. And I don't mean that in like the shady way of how people are always like, girl, there's somebody for everybody. But there really is someone for everyone. So that's why I really did enjoy that book. I really did love it. Um, Another random book is called Great Managers Are Always Nice. It was by Chip Averwater. It just talks about basically when you're starting to work in leadership and when you're becoming like a manager or you're working in management. It was really one of those career type of books where it was just discussing you can be a successful manager, you can be straightforward, you can get work done while also having empathy and not being like a complete asshole to like your employees and just being like, yeah, so you're staying late today because I said so. So that's one of the reasons why I really did enjoy that book, because it was definitely, it was a good read. It was not a long read. It was not super boring. Like it was something that I feel like a lot of managers could use a refresher on and could definitely benefit from reading that book because, yeah. So the next book, let me see. I already said The Predatory Pastor. Come Playing It by P. Wise. Now listen, this was probably my first book I read by P. Wise. She drops books a lot. You guys have to go ahead and support this author. Um, she's active on Facebook. I know that's how I first stumbled upon her. When I don't know who her book promoter team is, if she has a marketing team, whoever it is, they are so on point with her books, because I swear to God, I feel like I am always seeing one of her book covers posted. So if you're ready to try out someone new, she does write urban fiction. It did have some little racy scenes in it for those erotica lovers. I enjoyed that book very thoroughly. I read that back in July. Be the Prize by Kim Pastel. It is a book about basically relationship tips, dating. It's about, how women can maneuver in basically relationships and our encounters with men. Like basically letting people earn you, like not going and pursuing these men that really don't want to be bothered with you. They really don't. They don't want to be with you, girl, because he don't even answer the phone unless it's late at night, or if he even answer the phone, he probably just gonna text back. Like it was one of those types of books of like basically get your stuff together. Like you don't have to just deal with just whatever just to sit here and say you have somebody. Um, so yeah, so that'll help a lot of people like get out of their like little situationships by 2024. You know, make him, well, not make him commit, but like move around, find somebody new. Like that's basically what the book was saying. Is focus on yourself. Remember that you are the prize. I don't really like that phrase necessarily. You are the prize. I feel like everyone is the prize. I don't really subscribe to the idea that women are the only prize in like relationships and stuff. Like if y'all are a good fit to each other, if you guys treat each other right, I feel like y'all both should be the prize. Like maybe then it'll be like a little carnival or a circus or something. I don't even know. Next book. The next book that I read was, let me see, Are You Scaring Him Away by Brian Knox. Now, this is the second little relationship book back to back. But it was a good book because I feel like there are things as women that we do sometimes when we're dating men, when we're getting to know a man. And to us, like, we just being a girl, we just being a lady, like we don't think about it. But it was just little subtle things that like sometimes I guess can be like red flags to men, or like kind of like a yellow flag to them, where they're like, I don't really know how I feel about her because she be doing this and that. My choice of reading has definitely changed over the years. if you were watching me back in 2018 when I used to do book reviews and just discussing my poetry and how I felt about relationships, when I say your girl has changed a lot, oh my God, I was like one of the biggest, like, girl, F these niggas. Like, I wouldn't even say I was one of those misandrists. Like, I wasn't taking it that far, if that's even how you say it. I wasn't taking it that far, but I definitely was feeling like, girl, go have your way with these niggas. You don't got to care about their feelings. But I feel like I have worked on myself. I have gone to therapy, and I'm working on my traumas. So, therefore, I don't treat men the way I used to. So, I apologize to anyone that I dealt with from, like, 2018 to, like, a year ago. Because it's not funny, but because I've changed. So, like, basically what I'm getting to is my selection of books have changed. I feel like when you are saying, like, you want to, transition from the kind of relationships you're used to maneuvering to healthier relationships, it's important to feed your brain with those things. So that book by Brian Knox was informative. I definitely did enjoy it. The next book, Love is Saying I'm Sorry, another book by S. Casaderia, if I'm saying her name right. But I enjoyed that book as well because I was like, okay, like, do I remember the characters' names off the top of my head? No, I do not, so don't even try me. But the point is, I really did enjoy that book. This will not be one of the last books that I read by her. Once I get over feeling like Naira done broke up with me from her not putting out another book every single week, I'm probably gonna start delving back into Miss S. Quesadera books. Because I really did enjoy it. The next one is 10 Habits of Highly Focused People by Daniel Bastida. I read that the last week of July as well. Very, 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 very good book. If you're trying to hit your goals, if you're trying to be successful, if there's something you're trying to really accomplish as a parent, as a person, as a woman, as a man, this is a very good book because it gives you different tips of how people start off their day that are really successful, or things that they do, or little habits and quirks that just become a part of their routine that really have helped to set them on a path of success. So I definitely enjoyed that book as well. The next book is Exchanging My Ring for a Street King by Maya White. I may be saying that wrong. Forgive me, girl. Love that book as well. Don't remember the character names. Definitely do remember it was about a woman. She was married. Her husband was cheating on her with the secretary. Homegirl pulls up to the house, and this is not her first time seeing this man cheat on her. It's not the first time her finding out that he's having extra affairs on the side. It's not the first time. But whatever snapped in this lady's mind this time, she literally, I don't remember if it was an accident or if it was on purpose. I think it kind of it was one of those moments where she just blacked out. Homegirl floors her car into the side of the house. Just floors it into the side of the house. And I'm pretty sure the car hit the secretary lady in the process. And her husband seemed kind of pissed about it. Like, you really just sat here and did this? Like, yes, nigga, she really did that. She's tired of you cheating on her. Yes, that's how that happened. Very good book. But it was not like one of those like toxic love story books, or like she just keeps trying to go back to a man who clearly does not want her, has checked out of the marriage. It is a love story that I absolutely enjoyed. I would definitely read another book by that author as well. What Men Wish You Knew by Jared Jameson. Going back to, relationships books. And at this point, y'all probably like, this girl done went pick me overnight. Whatever. Point is, it was a good book. It really was a good book. It was just some little subtle things. Like, one of the things I remember off the top of my mind with that book was it was saying, like, when men are like, oh, I just need time to myself, or I just need personal time. Or even they don't really want to talk that much sometimes. I have had to learn that at times with, like, a partner of, like, girl, maybe he just wants to chill. Like, maybe he don't want to talk nonstop. Like, how you want to talk nonstop? Like, and that's okay. So I feel like, again, that was just one of those little books where for women, it's like, okay, like, I think on that. I'm not saying, like, these books, I'm expecting people to take them and get whatever from it that I did, but I do feel like it was beneficial for me. The next book, From the Bottom of a Thug's Heart by Nair. Y'all already know how I feel about her books, okay? I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole because, like I said, I'm gonna do a whole review on her books alone. She killed it. She killed part one and part two. The next book, The Seven Irresistible Qualities Men Want in a Woman by Bruce Bryan. Again, very straightforward from the title. Very good book. I recommend that you guys read it. The last book that I have read was The Wife of a Jamaican Billionaire by Candy Moore. Listen, I feel like y'all don't really rock with me or whatever because someone could have put me on the Candy Moore's books a long time ago. Okay? Y'all could have put me on a while back. Candy Moore did not miss with that book, okay? Will not be the last time I read a book by her either because it was so freaking good. Like, it wasn't even a 5 out of 5. It was a 6 out of 5. Like, it was on something like when you go out to a restaurant and like when you eat all your food and then you go ahead and pick up your fork and you get ready to take another scoop of like your mashed potatoes with like the little seasonings they put on top with the butter and stuff, and they got the little gravy on the side with the broccoli and stuff, and then you look down and you realize like it's nothing but like a gravy trail, like a little snail trail, and you just knew you was about to get another bite. That's how I felt about her books. So this video has already gone a lot longer than it was supposed to. I apologize. I appreciate you guys watching this whole video. Again, you guys, if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Hit a like, hit a share button. I am coming back with a bunch more book reviews. So, thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your lovely day.